Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Pizza Story podcast. Our guest today is a visionary leader who is changing the landscape of one of the world's most beloved industries. Alexandra Mortati is the founder of Women in Pizza, a movement dedicated to spotlighting the women behind the dough, the sauce, and the business of pizza. Alexandra, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Erica. I'm excited to be here and
I'm
nervous.
excited that you're here today. So let's talk about how you got into pizza.
Yeah, so I always joke that pizza's been in my blood. It's been a part of my family for as long as I can remember. My family is a food importing business. And so I've
Wow.
always, yeah, never go hungry. I've always grown up around flour, tomatoes, olive oil, mozzarella, everything that belongs on pizza. It was always the celebratory item after any kind of win. I've tried every sport under the sun, not athletic. But it was our Friday night meal in, anytime a sleepover with friends, like pizza was always had. My first job was working part-time, bussing tables in a pizzeria when I was 13. And I carried that on throughout high school. So I've just always loved being around it. And I just find there's so much passion and amongst the people and a real sense of the community. I was not truly aware of how deep the sense of community was until I officially joined the industry much later. But I mean, when you're in high school, and what's more fun than like working in a pizzeria and spending time hanging out with like fun people and serving something that everybody loves?
Yeah, no, that's 100% true. I grew up very similar to the way that you did. My family owned a pizzeria. My grandfather opened it in 1960, and we never went hungry. There was always tons of food. And on a Friday, it was me, my mom, my best friend, my mom's best friend, my sister, and we were like the Friday pizza crew. And it was the most fun. We would bake, fresh bread. My mom made homemade jam. We would eat pizza. We would laugh. We would like wait on the customers. And it never felt like work.
Yeah, that's amazing. And something that you get to do with your family as well. And I mean, I remember, like, my friends would come in, and at first, I would be like, "Don't visit me while I'm at work," but then it became so fun, like, I would be so excited for them to come by, and they loved going there, and it's one of those things where on my days off, I'd still find myself at, like, the pizzeria going out with friends for dinner or, like, just in the area and popping in for, like, a gelato or to see how things were going. So it definitely stays with you and becomes, like, such a integral part of your life, I guess. So it was really, yeah, a lot of fun. But I didn't really understand at that point, like, just how intense the pizza industry could be and everything that really went into it. I was just like a young kid who got to help out sometimes.
Mhm.
And the more I've learned about the industry since being in it, like, the more amazed I am and um, the more excited I am constantly to just be a part of it.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I was bitten by the same pizza bug. And tell me kind of like, you started out, your family was in the food importing business and you worked in pizzerias. And then where did your life go after that?
Yeah, so when I went to college, I was an English major. Always loved stories and storytelling and writing. So I knew I wanted to do something in that capacity. I find words are one of our most powerful tools, and you learn so much from learning about other people and where they've been, what they've come across, real or fictional even.
Yeah.
And so I knew I wanted to do something in that realm. So when I graduated from college, I worked a few jobs in the city and eventually found myself working for a company that created these online communities for different brands and did some consumer facing engagement. But living in New York City is very expensive. Rent is not cheap. And so I had reached out to my dad and I had said, I can barely afford rent and food. So you have a food company and you don't do any social media. Can I help out and start doing that in my free time just for a little bit of extra cash so that I can afford a subway ticket?
Yeah.
And so he was like, go for it. And within just a few months, I kept having idea after idea. One day he looked at me and he said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think maybe you should come and work for the family business. And I said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think you might be right. And there'd never been, I'm really lucky, there'd never been any pressure on me growing up that that was something expected or that they wanted me to do or pursue. And I was very stubborn. I'd always said, like, I want to forge my own path. So the
Yeah.
timing was just right, and I had to come to it on my own, and it's the greatest decision I've ever made, And I realized, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is a combination of my 2 favorite things, storytelling and food." But it took me a minute to get there.
No, I absolutely love that story because, like you, it's like I've had my marketing agencies forever. And then I went home to help my dad who had heart surgery. And I was like, hey, let's do the pizza shop together. Like, I'll do the marketing. You can go in. And I don't know if your dad was like this, but my dad was like, I don't believe in marketing. And I was like, okay. It ended
No,
up working and it ended up fine. But, and it's not my full time job, but I love that I get to do storytelling and work with my dad and be part of, like, the family business and the legacy and the pizzeria.
100%. I'm very lucky. My dad actually always has ideas when it comes to marketing, and so working with him has been a really amazing because he's challenged me in many ways, or I get to challenge him. And it's just been something I was very nervous about entering. I mean, you hear all these horror stories about family businesses, but I've been so lucky that he's truly my biggest champion. And he's such a great boss. And he's always empowering me to speak up or like fight for what I believe in. And you don't always get that from family businesses or businesses in general. So I feel really, really lucky that he's been so wonderful about it, and I think it was because we both went into this very intentionally. Um, Again, like, it wasn't an expectation that either of us ever had. It just kind of happened naturally, and we had a lot of conversations before I came on full time about what that would look like, what that could mean, what I'd be responsible for, and so I just feel so grateful that he trusts me and I have immense trust in him. And so, yeah, it's been really fun so far. And we have a saying that we always say in our company, we're only at the beginning, and we always joke that we're the like 7-ish year old company.
Wow.
I think it's our 78th year now,
Wow.
but we're only at the beginning. There's still so much to do. And so it's really motivating and inspiring
Yeah, that's a
to be
great
a part of
saying.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an incredible saying, and I love that the company's been in business that long. It's so amazing to see a family-run business that lasts for that many years.
Yeah, it's I've actually been speaking a lot recently with my grandmother and my great uncles and learning more about the history of it and what it was like back in the 50s and the season in the 70s. And I know a lot about once my dad, and I call him my uncle, his first cousin Carlo took over
Yeah.
in the 90s, but that whole time period beforehand and what was happening in America and being Italian at that time and bringing these ingredients over, coming off of World War II, the impact it had on Italy. Like, it's just so fascinating. There's so much that I didn't know. And so to be able to learn and celebrate it and know that I get to carry this tradition and this legacy forward is a lot of pressure, but it's also really exciting.
Yeah, there's such a rich history of Italian and Italian immigrants and just all the things that people have brought over from the regions that they're from. Now, are you guys from a particular region?
So on the Orlando side, my grandmother's in Orlando.
Mhm,
We are from Sicily, from Palermo.
mhm.
And then the Mortati side, my grandfather's side is Calabrian.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
It's like
very
2 really
Southern.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 very good sides. That's amazing. Now, take me through how you decided to start Women in Pizza, because 'cause I've had so many guests mention it, and I was like, "Oh, there's a Women in Pizza?" And I was like, "I need to reach out to her."
I know. Well, we have to get you involved as well. So when I was coming on board full time, they had just come back from Pizza Expo. So I started officially in April that year of 2019. And I learned when they came back that my colleague Casey had worked with them to organize what they called a Woman in Pizza Power Hour. So they kicked all the men out of our booth at the show and invited all of our female friends and customers in to make pizza and network and just have a good time. And I thought, "That's an amazing idea. I love that you're doing something like this. But why are you only doing it for 1 hour of the year? Why are you not focusing on this more? You clearly see a need to make space and create a platform for women, but you're only doing it at this one event one time
Yeah.
each year." And so they looked at me and they're like, "Well, we agree, like, there's so much work that can be done, but we just don't have the time or the resources right now. But if you're really passionate about this, then we will support you 100%." And I was really lucky growing up. I took it for granted, I think, that like I knew Georgia Caparuso for I've known her for as long as I can remember her entire time here in America. And I had met some of our other female customers very early on, and they were all just powerhouses. And I realized, oh my gosh, I know these women and they're so amazing at what they do, and they have to fight so much harder for the recognition that they deserve. Of course, I want to do something that celebrates them and tells their stories. I mean, I love telling stories. This is right up my alley. I was so excited. And to tell stories about people that like I really admire and care about and have faced so much adversity in their own ways and started shattering all of these glass ceilings. Like it just found it so empowering and inspiring. So
Yeah.
Casey and I set out to formalize the movement. We created a logo, we created a website. And at first, it was just going to start off grassroots. We had asked a few amazing women around the country to be our ambassadors, and we officially announced this new Women in Pizza movement in 2019, that September at the Pizza and Pasta Northeast convention. Our goal had been to utilize these women and host networking events and trainings and classes in their restaurants all around the country. And then COVID happened 6 months later, and we were like, maybe we need to put a pin in that. And so we kind of redirected focus and really made it more about storytelling and shining a light on their expertise and their talents, their achievements, their histories, how they got to where they are, their advice for other women. And it just so many people started reaching out, wanting to share theirs. And it just became this amazing network and community. And I'm really excited that today it's officially a nonprofit
Wow.
organization aimed to helping women and providing them with opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. But yeah, really for me, it was just, again, also happened very naturally and organically. It was just something I saw and was very appreciative that Orlando Foods had had the foresight to do this and to do these women pizza power hours, but I couldn't help but want to build a little bit more momentum around it and really give it the space I think it deserves.
Yeah, 100%. Seems like it's such an incredible organization. I definitely want to get involved. And I want to talk a little bit about, the different things that you offer for people who are members and just some of the different things that you guys do throughout the year.
Yeah, so right now, we're still mostly based on storytelling and highlighting women and what they're up to and encouraging people to go and visit them and learn about their businesses for them to connect with one another. I'm currently working on a mentorship program so people could sign up to be a mentor or to be a mentee and then pairing them because I think there's so much we can learn from each other. And in all of my conversations with women, there's so many underlying themes and so many similarities. And I think why not pair people and they can learn from each other's mistakes and help each other grow. I mean, that's one thing that's really been amazing so far is how welcoming everybody's been and how women and men and other industry figures, everybody keeps wanting to champion one another. I think that's really unique also to the pizza industry.
Mhm.
So that's one of our big initiatives. We'll also be offering some grant and scholarships this year. So I'm really excited for that. So women can take trainings that they might not otherwise be able to afford or put money towards their businesses for things that they might otherwise have struggled with. So really opening them up to more opportunities that way.
That's absolutely incredible. Now, as far as being a member, what would be the criteria? Could anyone join that's in the pizza industry?
Yeah, so to me, a woman in pizza is any woman who's involved in the pizza industry in some capacity. Every role is really important, and that was one thing that I found early on was that if you weren't the pizza maker or the owner, or even if you were, but you weren't the face of the business, then you weren't treated as important or recognized as being as important.
Mhm.
When that's not the case, every role is so vital to the success of a business. You might not be the pizza maker, but maybe you manage the books, and without you, the lights won't turn on. Or maybe you're the manager and you're responsible for making sure that everyone's performing their best so that the pizzeria can operate. Or maybe you're like me and you're on the ingredient side and you're the supplier and you're trying to make sure that they have what they need in order to run their businesses. Or maybe you're like you and you're telling stories and talking to people and getting word out and sharing knowledge. I think that's equally important. So there's so many different facets and so many pieces that make the industry whole. I wouldn't want anybody to be excluded. Men can even sign up as a supporter if they want to like stay in the know and or if they just want to support women that they care and love about in the industry and help them grow. So we try to be as inclusive as possible.
That's so good because I have noticed since day one the pizza industry is very inclusive, supportive, welcoming, kind, and that just seems like an extension of what the pizza community is.
It really is. It's really been amazing to me how many people have embraced it. Like I've never heard one negative remark about women in pizza. I've never, at least nobody has shared with me if anybody's said anything
Yeah.
about it because all I've seen is people have really gone out of their way to show up for one another and to support the movement. I completely blanked, and you asked me some of what we do as well. We also participate in pizza festivals around the country. So at the Las Vegas Pizza Festival, they came to me and they said, we want to have a women in pizza booth. They did the same. Tony did the same thing in San Francisco. So we get to have women come and represent their businesses under the umbrella of Women in Pizza in their areas. We also host like a networking happy hour at the Pizza Expos. Create a moment where all of these women can come together and meet outside of the trade show and really like relax and get to know one another. We really want to build that community and help people promote themselves and what they're doing.
I absolutely love it. I will tell you, like, I've had several women on the podcast, and almost every person I've talked to has mentioned women in pizza, either on the podcast or offline when we've just been like chatting after the podcast. So I definitely was like, I think I had Sarah on from Fire Pizza, and she was like, "Are you in Women in Pizza?" And I was like, "No, I probably should be." Like, let's discuss it. So we talked about it, and it's just been all really positive, great things about it. It just seems like such an amazing resource for any woman in this industry.
Yeah, it's really become like a sisterhood, and I know that can sound corny, but I find it really empowering just, like, being able to pick up the phone and call somebody and pick their mind for advice on something or even just to check in and see how we're each doing.
Yeah.
It's just nice knowing that you have that sense of community, that sense of, like, true friendship underneath all of it as well, especially in an industry that, like, it's such a community, but it's also intense. I mean, pizza is a lot of physical labor. It's a lot of long hours. It's a lot of work, and just knowing that you have each other's backs, even if you're not in the same location, I think it gives you a lot of peace of mind and helps, like, relieve some of that burden because you know that no matter what, you do have a support system behind you.
Yeah. I mean, as a business owner, I think so many of these women, they go through the stress of not only like being amazing pizza makers, but then having to run the business, having to deal with the stress, the financials, the personnel, all the different issues. So having someone to talk to, like sometimes I feel like you think you're just on your own dealing with these things.
Mhm. 100%, right? And chances are somebody's had the exact same thing happen to them, has been exactly through what you're going through right that moment. That's why for me, when I talk to all these women and I get to hear their stories and share them, I'm always so grateful when they're willing to share because I always say, like, chances are everything you're going through or what you've gone through is going to resonate with at least one other person. And somebody's going to learn from you, or you're going to prevent them from maybe making a mistake that you made because now you're showing them that didn't work. Here's what you can do instead. Or you're just offering a lifeline. Like you're saying, hey, if you have questions, reach out to me. And that's one thing that I always am so delighted by when I speak to women and they go, "Anybody can just reach out to me." And they're like, "Wait," and I think people get nervous to just DM somebody or email somebody or call somebody and say, "Hey, like, do you have a few minutes? I would love to learn more about this or hear from you on this." Because it can be scary, especially when it's not somebody that you know. But
Yeah.
when I speak to all these women, everybody's so genuine and sincere. Like they truly mean it. Please reach out to me. Please talk to me. I would love to help you. I'd love to share my knowledge. I would love to also learn from you. It's amazing. I feel like every conversation I have, I learned so much. And I leave so inspired and so motivated. And it's just, yeah, it's just, I feel so lucky and to be able to do this.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's so good. And what I've also found too, like people, they want to help. It's like a very important thing to be able to help another person. And so many people, they just want to help without expecting anything in return. And I'm the same way. Like I love helping people. It's such a good feeling to know that you genuinely helped a person.
100%. And one thing I've noticed is there's this common understanding that the better we are as an industry, the better we are ourselves. And so why hold information to yourself and not share it when you know it's just going to help the industry as a whole and you'll
Yeah.
benefit from that? It's a really open-minded mindset, but it's not something that you find across many industries.
No.
And
No. No.
no, yeah.
I mean, I know that, you also have a similar like marketing background. And I can tell you that is not the way that the marketing industry is. And it was so refreshing to me because I came into the pizza industry like very burnt out on doing marketing. And then coming into the pizza industry, like seeing how it was and how it was so different, it was like so refreshing and like just calming and nice.
I know, and I think that's something that people forget. Like, having competition's a good thing. Like, your
Yeah.
competitors make you better. So, I hope that I have really good competitors who push me to be better. And I hope that I have a community behind me that supports me as well, and if maybe I'm doing something that they're like, "Okay, maybe don't do that," and can stop me before I make, like, big mistakes, but it's nice to know that everything we're doing is for the collective good and for the collective evolution of the industry. And I hope that people remember that. I think what's nice about the pizza industry is, especially at these events when we get together, or when women connect with one another through Women in Pizza, you're not always talking to somebody that's right in your area. You're talking to somebody that can be anywhere in the country or even anywhere in the world. And pizza is one of the most beloved food items in the world. And so no matter where you are, like, you're still going to have very similar experiences that you can learn from. Um, but you don't feel like you have to compete directly with them. But even if you are, like, the better you're making pizza in your community, the better it is for you and your customers. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are starting to realize that.
Absolutely. I mean, I will tell you, like, we're a very pizza centric family and we have like our top favorites everywhere we go almost. And we just sort of rotate to different pizzerias. So it's not like one's getting like, business versus the other. Like we're gonna be hungry every day. Like there's
Yeah, you
enough.
have to share the love. And there's so many different styles of pizza. And
Yeah.
even if you're making the same style, there's going to be some slight variations. So I think that's what's so amazing about it is there is something for everyone within pizza. And on different days, you might want different things, and that's a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It definitely is. Now, where in the country are you guys located?
So I live in New York, but our headquarters is in New Jersey.
Perfect. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm super familiar. I lived in Jersey for a couple years and
Awesome.
used to go to New York every weekend. I love New York. It's one of my
Yeah,
favorite cities.
I know.
So, can you tell me, the podcast is very food driven. Do you have any like, very memorable pizzerias or pizza moments? I usually ask people their favorites, but that's tricky sometimes. But do you have ones that you can talk about?
Favorites? I don't know if I have favorites.
Hmm.
But I think I'm very spoiled in that I've had just so many wonderful pizza moments and food moments in New York in general. I mean, it's just a city of such great food.
Yeah.
I would say there have been some, like, ones that have been exciting and different. I remember, they were filming diners, drive-ins, and dives at Don Antonio
Hmm.
not long after it opened, so I got to go and kind of see what that was like, and that was kind of my another instance of I was still in college at the time, but instance of seeing, like, storytelling come to life, especially through, like, a visual medium, and it was, again, telling stories of food, something I love, or pizza, something I love.
Yeah.
So that was really just a very unique experience to me at the time. Remember I was Anthony Mangieri was doing a soft opening of Una Pizza Napoletana,
Mm.
and I was not yet working the for Orlando Foods full time, but I had met my dad had invited me to come meet him because anytime he had anything work related, he was like, "You want a free meal? Come and join me." So I always hop on it. And I remember we were standing in line waiting for them to open the soft opening, And we
Mhm.
looked behind us, and one of my dad's like very good high school friends was right there. And they hadn't seen each other in a long time. It was just funny, this like coming together of people who are in different industries, but both love pizza and are in New York. And like it just reminded me and showed me like, oh, it really does foster this like sense of community. And you never know. Like it does bring people together.
Yeah.
It was just this unexpected, like exciting moment for them to be like, oh, can't believe you're here. Yeah, there are so many other ones. I mean, I remember I first met like Nicole Bean at Keste downtown. She was doing a training on Roman style pizza with Enrico Fama, and I also met the Mercurios and so many other people that now like it was my first time meeting any of them, and now I consider them some of my great friends. And so that one's always really special to me because I remember I walked into it feeling like such a fish out of water. I think I was a week into like full time working,
Mhm.
had no idea what was going on. I did not understand, like, the difference between all these pizza styles. I could look at something and tell you, but I didn't realize the intricacies of it. And so I was, like, observing this pizza training and getting to know people, and it was just I had no idea at the start of that, like, the first day, what it would be like by the end of that week, and now years later. I guess that's another special one that sticks out,
Wow, that's awesome. There's so many good ones.
especially in New York. I mean, there's no shortage of pizza.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, what has pizza meant to your family?
I think that's kind of hard to put into words. I think it's always been something that we've appreciated and truly loved. I think it's defined us even when we realized it wasn't defining us, but we're now so proud that it has and does. Um, we it brings us together. We Yeah, it's hard to put that into words because I think it's when you're around it so much now, like on the business side, I think sometimes I take it for granted, and I think growing up, like, it was just always there, but it wasn't we didn't speak about it like, "Oh, pizza this or pizza that." It was just always a presence in our lives, and it was always a part of our life, and it was something that always brought us together, um, but without us realizing it, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
that's awesome. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's always kinda like the glue, but you don't really
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah. I think,
That's
yeah,
really cool.
like, we weren't focusing on everything it was doing for us, but, I mean, I think all of us today, like, even my siblings who aren't in the business, the amount of knowledge they have, or even when I was in high school and college, the way I would talk about ingredients and pizza and food with my friends, and the way they all started to get into it as well, I realized, like, it was very subconscious, but it was just this force that was always around us.
That's incredible. Yeah, it's not just the meal, it's the meaning behind it.
Mhm.
Awesome. So if somebody wants to get involved in Women in Pizza, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I would say to register for the movement on our website, womeninpizza.com. You can also reach out directly. You can DM us at Women in Pizza on Instagram or Facebook. You can reach out to me directly, Ozzy at womeninpizza.com. We're more than happy for people to reach out and tell us about themselves, get involved with the nonprofit, share their stories. Any way we can try to help or connect, like we'd love to.
Awesome. Well, I will be applying later today. So I'm
Awesome.
putting it on my list here. Anyway, guys, go follow them. It's at Women in Pizza. Go to the website, get involved. This is an amazing organization. Alexandra, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I loved hearing about Women in Pizza and your story and history, and I wish you the best.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's so weird being on this side of the conversation.